Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GANs processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, for medical issues or warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness by giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the Earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become. In being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 284th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, July 25th, 2023. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'll be host once again in this weekly series of workshops. And once again, I have Mark as a co-host. Thank you, Mark, for being here. And as well, we have members of the Universal Council who always present this workshop, and I believe we're ready to dive into their presentations. So let me get that ready and let us begin.
Hi, good morning, good morning. Welcome everybody, welcome beautiful souls by the new era, new era for the space technology, new era, the plasma technology.
Could you get a bit closer to the microphone, Elizabeth? That'd be great, thank you.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
You listen to me? Okay, good morning, everybody, good morning. And thank you for coming today. Welcome the new technology, plasma technology. Welcome to the new era from 495. When you reach balance, there is no sickness. And when the balance reaches the soul of the man and the soul of physicality and the physicality of the man is more or less, we call it reaching heavens at the ultimate position. And in time, this will bring that we call everlasting life in all three dimensions. This is part of the work of understanding, part of the principle of understanding. You have to go a step further in totality or understanding the first direction. And we always said the stronger fits, the weaker to become imbalanced. In the human lives, the balance always is blocked by emotion. It's like a short circuit in the work of the creation of physicality. And with the new understanding, with the development, with the new cycle, the system we have seen, we try to reach point where the soul of the man and the soul of physicality of the man and the physicality of the man, they order as the different or will not be different, as the motion is the same between all three dimensions. And this is what is lacking with the magnetic field of the earth. I explained this once, maybe I explain in a different way today. I melted in the position of the rotation of the earth creates the seasonal and daily change. If you understand this, it's the same planet, the same beauty, but it goes through the different emotion, winter, summer, wind, and the rest. Because it's like the other position. It's the same when one of the three, the soul of the physicality and the soul and the physicality of the man, one of them is slightly off position. It creates diversity, which some of the diversity means killing. It's not in harmony with the other two, and the same as the season creating different emotion, killing the characteristic and seasonal change. This is like this vision in the emotion and the physicality of the man, which come from the wrong first given by the field of the air has created that dealt. Then now we are trying to correct it. Does not create emotion. We are wrong. And this is the job of the new science and technology. It doesn't take long to create a little tail to go back and create different emotions. Then all the soul of the physicality and the soul of the man become one line. And you two shall not commit the, and that all it is at the physicality of the man, at the emotion is gravitational magnetic fields plasma-based. So we can correct it with the newest technology. And this is what we'll come to realize more of. Thank you. Next slide, please. We, the Universal Council, are the expansion of knowledge about the Creator and creation through the new partnership with China to reach all beings in existence. Next. Thank you.
We, the Universal Council, create conditions for humanity to embrace the new era of plasma science.
Okay. We, the Universal Council, create conditions for humanity to embrace the new era of plasma science. Next, please. Next slide. Thank you. Jaco, you read?
Yes, I can. We, the Universal Council, are living in the new era of growth, elevation and expansion of souls, balancing through the technology of the wellness centers. Our wish is our command. Now the next slide, please. Dean, are you there?
Oh, I can read it.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We, the Universal Council, elevate all souls to balance in unconditional love from the position within the soul of the Creator.
Stefania.
We
Yeah.
are present.
Maybe read again, please.
I read again one more time. Okay.
Yes, please.
We, the Universal Council, elevate all souls to balance in unconditional love for the position within the soul of the Creator.
Next slide.
So we come to the soul connection. This soul connection is very, very important. I will later talk about it because it brings us back in a way to the natural point where all souls come from and go back to. So I would like to ask you, please find a comfortable position where you can sit or lay or stand, whatever you want. Please relax your physicality and breathe in slowly through your nose and breathe out slowly through your nose. Expand your soul so it can connect to the knowledge seekers, to the Universal Council soul, to all the systems equal where they are positioned on this planet. Also with our universal family. And we connect through the dome of peace. In this connection, we reach each other's hands to let flow the unconditional love to wherever it is needed. We do it in silence. And now we slowly come back and we thank all those souls participating in this great movement to peace. Thank you, everyone. So we can go to the next slide, please. Converge. First of all, I would like to say hello to everyone, all dear souls in, on, and beyond our wonderful planet Earth. It's me, Jacko. I'm UC member, representative of the Dutch language. Energy to matter, and matter to energy. This opens up so many possibilities in space and as well on Earth. Scanning a planet from its surface and know what structure, what resources are there is something a lot of scientists were working on for many years. Modern satellites are able to do that work, but only for the first 10, 20, maybe 30 meters. Now, shift by shift, the new technology scans until the center core is reached. Combined with the new composite materials we can produce in the new systems. Just imagine what this means for the future of life on Earth. Thank you, Mr. Keshe, for never giving up and continuously teaching us what our soul is and what we can do, create and manifest through the incredible soul dimension field strength. Dear knowledge seekers, don't doubt. Understand the possibilities plasma technology is offering us. Understand what is going on this planet. But don't be afraid. Be proud to be a part of the solution for humanity. And in this awareness, we, the Universal Council, thank all souls participating in this really great movement to peace. Our thoughts will transmute us and prepare us for the point of destination. You think of planet Zeus, you change like in the environment of planet Zeus, and you are on planet Zeus. Now you understand why it's so important to think good from the beginning. Now we learned that life is guaranteed in physicality at the point of arrival. And in conjunction with the Chinese officials, a lot of new doors, new chances open up for the technology. Goals that Mr. Keshe said will be reached in months instead of many years. The question is, are we ready to support? Can we keep up this speed train development? As a group, we can. Lots of knowledge is amongst the knowledge seekers. And in the connection as the knowledge seekers with the system, with the Universal Council and the Universal Family, we come to unknown dimension possibilities. Please stay in this connection. Give freely from your soul, not only at 9 p.m. Central European Summertime, but always if you feel to do so. That in time you can stay in the state of being of this connection. By the way, this connection is our natural state. It's us, our focus on physicality, which disconnected us from this state of being in time. Now it's time to go back to our nature. Be aware that there is no death on the soul level. There is no separation on soul level dimension. There's no reason to be sad or afraid as soon as we realize our souls do not have no time limits. Our soul connection leads us to the knowledge of being one, from the source, from the creator, from the first ray of creation, eternal. Mr. Keshe teaches us these new doors into our real life, and it's up to us to go through. And together as knowledge seekers, to continue the development of the Keshe plasma technology. We are the Keshe Foundation. Thank we as one. Now I have an important information. Equal if the products come from the foundation or they come from China, Mr. Keshe is the owner of the technology. As soon as we trade with plasma products or parts of the technology, it has to be in accordance with Mr. Keshe. Please accept that to avoid issues now and in the future. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. I'm not sure, is this the streaming, Rick?
Just a sec, let me check my my message from Marie on this. This was something that Shweta suggested, It's a YouTube. Let me just see if we want to play it.
That would be good.
It's about a 22-minute movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go. This is Keshe Foundation partners with China in 2023 to create peace.
We become part of the Chinese national operation. We have joined forces with Chinese government, and we become international organization. The details of the joint venture has been signed last May. So for the first time we announced, Keshe Foundation moves its formal operation to the Chinese central government's operation. And we have received a massive backing, and the new developments will come out of China Keshe Foundation. We thank Chinese leadership in recognizing the power of this technology. Many of our work has been centralized in China for the past few months since opening up the corona, and you will see products from Keshe Foundation in China, but with the quality of the Western quality standard. In that process, whatever you have in the packages of the Keshe Foundation left is there, and prices and the products will change to in next 6 months, a year, to a totally different way. Promotion and sale is out of our hand. You're a scientific support and development. So if you go on the Keshe Foundation website, you will see products reduced or half price, or get one free. And there's be actually sentimental things, because that's the last time Keshe Foundation, as independent organization, puts products in the market. We are committed into Chinese government structure of signing contract that internally within China and externally outside China, all operations will be handled by the Chinese structure. So you will see us in what we call health, material, space. We are all tied up with Chinese central government and the structure. This will bring us to where we wanted to be, to push the technology beyond barriers, to push the technology in where we want it to be. And in a way, thanks to the work of our knowledge seekers in China, we have brought the technology to that level. And as I said, we thank the Chinese leadership, His Excellency of China, in realizing the value of the new technology and allowing us to become part of the Chinese structure of science and technology. You will see evolution and changes in our work in a way that would have taken us 30, 40 years to achieve, will emerge in the coming months and years. So the teaching will carry on. As part of our agreement, our teaching will not stop. The sharing of the knowledge will not stop, but the high-level technology texts in space, defense, and others will be collaborated and agreed by the Chinese authorities before we publish. In a way, there is no stranglehold, but it gives us a freedom to do what we do. Our research centers will move into the central Chinese government hand, which means Keshe Foundation will do research with Chinese and the rest of the world scientists. The operation of the space technology, the operation of the medical, and everything else. Now we are a joint partner, signed and sealed with the Chinese central government. We are not going in partnership with the Chinese organization, but we are hand in hand in China to spread the technology very rapidly. We have done many years of tests. We have done many years of research with the Chinese, with the help of our knowledge seekers. And now we have become part of the Chinese central government structure of science and technology. And we've been backed by massive financial support. But the management of the Keshe Foundation in commercialization, not in the scientific side, is not with us anymore. So what you see on the shops is the last time you buy a Keshe Foundation product, which is done by Keshe Foundation. Even though the new products will be designed, will be evolved through the knowledge of the knowledge seekers. We invite many of you in the coming times to join us in our
I think the audio has cut off, unless that was the end of the clip. Okay, it appears Rick has just left momentarily, hopefully. He must have had some sort of interruption in the system. We'll carry on. And a beautiful point raised that this has shortcutted 40 years of work for the Keshe Foundation with this collaboration. I know it's been the dream of Mr. Keshe to achieve this collaboration and manufacturing. It gets, as he said, the foundation out of the sort of manufacturing and just into research and development. And this is where Mr. Keshe feels most comfortable, I think, is in the lab. Not that he wasn't capable of it, but with all the things that have to be thought of, put together, and so on in a manufacturing and ordering and the whole system. Apparently, it's already tailor-made by the Chinese, which have most of these structures and networks already in place. So there'll be licensing agreements to continue the work, and the work is advancing, as we know, by centuries, I think. This plan will probably be distributed through the BRICS network, but it's the nation of China who's picked up this flower of peace and will move it forward. And they'll be offering to other countries this technology in exchange for pledging their nations to peace. I don't think it's that Mr. Keshe has chosen China exclusively. It's open to all the governments to come into the Keshe Foundation, whether you're in the BRICS nations or not, to start sharing and distributing this technology with your nationals and so on. Okay, Rick hasn't come back yet, so I'm on an iPad. I don't have the video or the foils to play, so we'll just have to sort of carry on this way. Rick is back. So let's just switch the host back to Rick. Hopefully he's stable at this point in time. And Rick is now the host again. And I don't know how you got bumped, but I know Mr. Keshe was bumped a couple times in the last Knowledge Seekers workshop, as he indicated certain people didn't want this information coming out. And this is just part of the work to bring it. There's been a lot of blocks and interferences, and I'm sure there'll be more, but we're well seasoned to overcome it and work with what we have and continue on. Rick, can you hear me?
Hi, Mark. I can, but something's wrong with my sound right now. I had a very hard crash. Something interfered with my computer and shut down the whole computer, and I don't know what happened. I may need to restart in order for my system to connect properly here. So,
Okay. I'm on an iPad, so I don't have any of these foils or anything that I can work with at the moment, but I'm sure we can fill in while you're doing that. That was quite a nice video. I hadn't seen that before. But there's many products in the store. Again, they're going to be keepsakes in a way, mementos of early times when the Keshe Foundation was trying to do everything. We know Mr. Keshe is an excellent multitasker, and this was some of the work. Now it'll be relieved and it will go into the work with the government of China and their scientists. And apparently they're quite thorough in their research and their testing of these systems and different aspects. I'm sure they've looked at this from every angle to confirm it is correct. And we know what Mr. Keshe said in the 495 about the 20 elements that were created, plus some composite materials. Apparently, the Chinese military and their scientists were looking quite closely, and this is perhaps the first time it's been openly shared with the government. I don't know, but it was actually raining materials inside the test center and even outside of the building. So this is quite jaw-dropping, I think. But it's been confirmed, and now in Washington, in NASA in Miami, and I think there's a test set up for British nuclear in the area of Manchester, which will do the same confirmation of materials. And you'd say, why do we need to create these materials? Go ahead, please.
Hello. Maybe it's possible distribute or China government distribute or contact with the other countries, because 4 days ago in the government shared the notice. I read I did read the notice. Today, I acknowledge the secret of the Brazilian community shared in your group about the news published in the some media in your country about an agreement signed by the president of Brazil with China in April of this year. Oh, it's in April, and they finished the negotiation with the Keshe Foundation in May. Maybe it's the same. What is the main goal is a scientific and technological research and focusing on space technologies, which provide a space cooperation plan from 2023 to 2032 between the National Space Administration of China and the Brazilian Space Agency. The partnership signed by the President of Brazil was also reported 4 days ago on the website in Federal Government of Brazil. I think maybe it's the same technology, but because of course Mr. Keshe is starting conversation not in May, maybe before. Maybe is talking the plasma technology. I don't know. Thank you.
Yes, that could have happened when he was in Brasilia, I know, a number of years ago.
Thank you.
Yes. And Brazil does have quite a leading, maybe the third or fourth, I'm not exactly sure, or do we want to even count positions, but they have quite a very advanced space technology program, and this should also leapfrog Brazil into the same sort of way that China is being advanced in the space technology. I know the Keshe Foundation is working quite closely. The Chinese government has announced by 2030 they would have a colony on the moon. Mr. Keshe said we could even speed that up possibly by 2027 to actually have this colony on the moon. And as he said, once you learn to walk, jumping is quite easy. So I think we'll see most of the planets in the solar system with colonies or humans living there in certain dome situations. We don't know exactly, but once the moon is set up, the jumping will become quite easy. And this is what we're asking, is for all nations, space and otherwise, to collaborate together on this knowledge. It's going to take more than all of us on this planet to really unravel and unwind and fully understand this technology. I think the universal community will also be involved in sharing some of the technology. Rick, I see you're back. Let's make you host again. And there you go. If you could co-host me back, that would be fine. Once you're set up, I know.
Thank
Yes.
you, Mark, for getting there.
Just a little flat tire. That was a quick change. Great. We were somewhere in the store, I think maybe just a little bit past the pens. I don't know if you know where this video actually, or your system failed, but I think it was scrolling down. Maybe we were 5 or 7 minutes into the video, something along that line, and we can just resume that position.
Get that set up here.
And of course, Brazil is one of the founding member of this One Belt, One Road. We call it BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. I think we're the founding members. And right now, I believe there's over 40 nations standing in line waiting to be approved to join this economic sort of bloc that's being created for a win-win situation. And China has taken a different approach, as we see. Yes, here we go. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around here, and hopefully it won't repeat the same thing with my computer. But let's carry on in the video.
The world evolved through the knowledge of the knowledge seekers world. We invite many of you in the coming times to join us in our research centers in China as a joint venture international organization, even though the Chinese operation operates and will be through Chinese government.
He has a question about whether water is a beautiful gas or a beautiful liquid gas. It could guide us on oxygen as one of the main agents of life, as it is the common denominator between the liquid part of this planet, which is water, and the structure of the body, which is amino acid. We should have already understood this in our GANS boxes when the amino acid forms at the top. He mentions they have new knowledge seekers participating in the group in Brazil. Thanks for the guidance.
We have a property within oxygen which behaves like what I call gravitational point of the liquid and gas together. We have gravitational fields of this planet which connects to iron. That has a common denominator with oxygen. And when you speak about oxygen on its own, is a gas. When you speak about the hydrogen on its own, is a gas. But when you mix these two together as H2O, in inertia and gravitational magnetic field of the Earth, the new combination exist in both dimensions depending on the field strength and then the matter strength and what we call energy. What this means, in a matter state, this gas become liquid as water. If you bring it into the plasma energy level of it, it behaves like gas. We see this as part of the work and understanding of the behavior of materials. And this is why we can boil it, we can steam it, we can vaporize it, and we can separate it. Many of you should have understood this when you created CH3 and when you created CO2 and when you mix the CO2 with CH3. The CO2 and CH3, the carbon stays in a matter state gaseous condition of gas, where hydrogen and oxygen stay in energy level of the gaseous, which is different than the matter state combination. In the coming days, we will conduct a test in China where we will show new characteristics of gases, which is unknown to the present world of knowledge and science. And with this, we actually show how the new or the old systems of detection and confirmation does not work with plasma energy. And this will set cornerstones for development of new equipment for the detection of the plasma. In a test to be carried out by the Chinese laboratories for Keshe Foundation, we will show a new dimension in the world of science that separates the Keshe technology completely from matter state physics of today. We did this test some years ago in Belgium, and we kept very silent about it as what I call technology development, which was exclusive to the Keshe Foundation. And we use it in matter development quite rapidly and strengthened. And now, as we become part of the work with the Chinese government, of what we call Chinese scientists have to understand this, that we get collaboration between the two sciences of matter and plasma. And in that process, we can show the characteristics of, for example, hydrogen as a gas and oxygen as a gas, and the combination of the two as a plasma, but within the inertial magnetic field of the planet. This will give us a huge advantage in science and technology and separation of the two sciences. So, yes, both are gases, and a combination of the two as a gas creates a liquid conditional upon inertia and the gravitational magnetic field of the Earth. Where in a matter state, gravity comes from iron. In a liquid and gas state, gravity comes from oxygen. Even though the two coexist as one in respect to the others. Because part of the gas is part of the plasma state of the gas, converts into matter state while it still is in the state of plasma. So it shows itself as matter, as a gas, but in fact is a state of plasma. Now, with the new research centers and with the capability in our hand in the coming years, you will see Keshe Foundation centers research centers will solve a lot of these things and open new dimensions in science. This is why we see strange things when we do things, because we always consider what we do is just matter and matter condition because we call them. And maybe by next week or the week after, we might open this new science and technology with the permission of Chinese government officials, that this knowledge can be released in public. Then you will understand. If you understand one point is, for example, nuclear warhead, we can change the nuclear warhead material into a gas state, which has no effect. While it is within the warhead, we change it to a plasma of itself, which releases and converts it. In a way, what we say, we transmute it from here to there. Americans can launch a warhead, but inside it is nothing on the warhead. Even the rocket flies. And this is the beauty of new technology, understanding it. It's like shooting a blank bullet. And this is part of understanding the changes. Transition between matter and gas. And this is what happens with water. We are so used to it that we have forgotten or we never understood the reality of the existence of it, how two gases make a liquid. But in fact, they're still in the state of plasma. And that's why 95% of our body mass is a plasma of water, not water. And in the world of sciences, 95% of our weight is water. In fact, it's a plasma of water, as we always said. Within the skin of the man is a different atmospheric condition. In the coming time, in the coming progress in development and science, we all learn new languages of technology. And the amazing thing is, the youngsters will understand it better than the older, because the older have already ingrained with the wrong information. And we bring it out to be understood, therefore. So, in the coming weeks, in the coming months, be ready for that change. The teaching will come in an open manner, no formulas. You have to understand to change it to a system, which that system is your soul. How you want to link, how you want to create that link, how you control the strength of that link. And in so many ways, how you can make one soul out of the whole race of the Creator. And that is the ultimate goal. And in time, man will understand. And in time, the universal community will understand. In time, the changes will come in a position and in understanding of the science of creation, which is very different than the science of the man, which he has made for himself to understand the matter state of his life. Now we understand the power of the plasma, or what we call magnetic field motion of the creation. The most beautiful time for human race has arrived. And the beauty of it is, we are all in it, and we will work all together for it, and the change will come. In the next few months, with the development of technology, we'll see the silencing of guns, as the Chinese government will enforce peace for technology. With it, we'll see the change in American policy of gun policy, as the nuclear weapons of America will become worthless. Then we talk as one nation what we do together, and not one against each other. In so many ways, we deliver so much technology to the hand of the Chinese government with the what we call agreement for peace, that does not make Chinese government to become a superpower, but become all-inclusive power of all the humanity. I trusted the Chinese leadership, and In this trust, we have seen the correct conduct of the officials in the operation in the past few months. And we agree to go to the next step and are open and full of new knowledge, an ocean of knowledge to the Chinese leadership, that they choose which part of this ocean of knowledge can be used to speed up the process of humanity to become peaceful, for everyone to be fed, and there'll be no hunger. But as we expand this sphere of the plasma, as I said, a Chinese military guy watched it outside the building, not inside the building. As he expanded, they stood outside, they saw they can see things flying outside, not just in the room. And this brought us the expansion time. And this expansion can be gradually throughout this planet and then beyond. I developed technologies for peace, and I developed knowledge to create the condition of peace. As always said in China, Chinese government does not put gun on the street. Chinese government creates conditions that no one can commit crime. Committing crime, it becomes so hard that you don't even think about it. And this is the way to do. We create so much knowledge that no man needs to go hungry. No man needs to commit crime to feed himself and his children. And now we have found the position to do. The center of knowledge will be based in China, and laboratories and the structures are set gradually in the coming months, that knowledge seekers who work with us will come into it. As knowledge seekers, you become teachers because you have that knowledge, you have understood it, and now it's time for you to teach. We call upon many of you to join the Keshe Foundation research centers in China, and then spread the knowledge out back to your countries. As we develop very rapidly new technologies, the Chinese leadership and Keshe Foundation management leadership will work hand in hand to bring the new technologies. And we make sure that it's equally shared, but it's not used against each other. These systems that are already operational in the hand of the Chinese, what they call our doctors. And now for the first time, we show you the future of the space technology in wellness. Have you received it?
Yes, I'm just about to play it here.
Okay, thank you very much. This is what you see, is what is to come. It's the first time you see a Space Center, Wellness Center. These systems can reach man in the deepest part of the universe. We can hear somebody breathing very hard. As you can see, the transmutation and transportation of the soul and the physicality is within the system. And you will see each system on its own. It can reach all conditions of unwellness of the body of the man operated by doctors. This is not a Keshe Foundation, what we call a space, but it's part of the space program. And for the first time, we show what is to come. And these machines have been operating for past 12 months. We know how they work. And some of you who've been to LINS sat in some of these systems. Now they've been positioned as one of the first wellness centers in the world.
Thank you, Rick. So if we go back to the presentation, the part of the news from Brazil, Lissy already explained. And the next slide after that is this center. And I was asked to say some words about it because there were questions. There were knowledge seekers who asked, yeah, is it possible to go there? Where is the position of this center? And in the German group, Mario explained very well that in fact, it is not necessary anymore to go into the systems. I had the honor to have the first remote connection in the Reactor group. Mr. Keshe came in and asked us to connect to these systems. And it worked very well. And since then, all the tests that's been done, all the extra knowledge and the extra systems applied showed that it is not necessary anymore to go there. So in that way, it's also not important where the position is of this, since it's a server remote function with, in fact, all the abilities necessary for us to connect and for the system to communicate with us. And you have to understand that these systems have a soul of their own. So if we do a soul connection, I feel the connection to the systems. Of course, I've been inside of them and experienced. I had the honor to play with the fields inside, and I can assure all those who were not inside that this energy, these beautiful feelings and fields, you can experience when you connect your soul to the soul of these systems. So if there are any questions or someone wants to say more about it, please welcome. And if not, we can go to the next slide.
Jacko, hi, it's Dean here. Can you hear me?
Hi, Dean. Yes.
Hi, Jacko. Sorry, I'm in a position where it was a bit difficult to speak earlier on, so I've just walked away from lots of distractions that were happening.
Give it a chance. Sounds good.
Yeah. So the wellness center, you're saying you've experienced this, Jacko. Can you explain to people when you connected on a soul level? What did you actually experience? How did it affect you physically or emotionally?
It's both. And I always explain it by an energy flow that gives a balance in physicality and a knowledge on the soul level. When I was inside it, the first time I came into the room, I sit down. Back then we had to go through the helmets before, the 3 helmets before we went to the flight system. And it was a very strong emotional experience. Because it's like you got to know someone new. And the interesting thing was about a week before I went to Linz, before I went into the system, I already felt the connection. It was like someone is communicating with you. And inside the room, first time, my goodness, it felt so strong and so intense. Randy asked later how it was, and I explained it with limitless feeling. And of course, that is difficult to give that a stamp or a name, but it explains it the best. Because if you feel these fields on the soul level, and with all the things we learned till now, it opens up such a spectrum of possibilities of manifestation, of transmutation, of all these things become possible if you start to understand the field. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, thank you, Jackie. That's yeah, beautifully said. It's recently I've had some experiences myself where I know through taking part in some of the trials that are being run through these wellness systems. I've experienced, you know, the expansion of the soul, where you feel it, and everybody feels it slightly differently. Where you sense that you are. As I said, it's an expansion of the soul. So you're feeling this this energy flow around you, and you're just allowing it to become part of you, and to be all around you in a physical body and also in an emotional condition. And when you actually then tap into it, it's a condition of it's hard to describe, of almost being transparent, at one with everything, so that you can then experience, you know, whatever it is that you need to experience in that moment, whether it's an energy transfer of the physicality to a body part that needs some readdress and balance, or whether it's an emotional issue that that is transcended from something that's happened to you, and in the physicality, or in a way that has set an emotion that then so you're going from the physical body, which is in the matter state, and then you have an emotion that is gathered from an experience. This experience then becomes, as I said, a plasma, an emotion, and then that emotion you then feed back into the physical body, which is back into the matter state. So you've gone into a plasma, then back into the matter state, and it's creating many different symptoms that we see in the physical body. But this transmutation between both, from the physical back into the plasma, is this expansion of the soul, and it's this transmutation that I think many people are experiencing, and having deep connections. And I recently had an experience where I started to feel some different dimensions happening when I was asleep, but awake. If that, if I can make that analogy, it was, and some physical interactions were heard, even though I was awake and asleep in the same moment. It was it's hard to describe, but it was an unusual sensation of starting to create in the matter state from a plasmatic condition in let's say in real time, in it seems in the moment. So interesting that many of these things are starting to transpire. Yeah, interesting.
Maybe the example of the sugar in the water is a good example of this feeling of becoming one. You don't see it, but it is there.
Yeah, it's a good analogy.
And then the alignment of the soul physicality, and physicality, Mr. Keshe, in the last teachings very well explained that this unbalance or out of line difference create the conditions, for example, in physicality. And by aligning your soul of physicality and the physicality, the stronger gives to the weaker. Soul is the strongest and the physicality is the weakest. So if we do that, if we align that, then a balancing is happening automatically. And with every connection to the systems, in a way, you come in this environment where the alignment is there. So that's why I'm not astonished that people who have connections to the systems were in the meetings or in the system itself. I experienced it myself. There is a balancing happening in your body. And I always say, in a balanced body, there is no illness. It's not possible. So everything comes together, and for me, it makes sense completely. And it shows the beauty of the technology in real life.
It's interesting what you say there, Jacko, that the possibility of illness and other things is not possible. Because when we're in a plasmatic condition, there is no such thing. So it really, the emotion and the physicality really shows us things within an environment or within our physicality that affect us so much. And as you said, when we go into this position of being in the system, there is none of this. It's complete balance. There is no, it's not, a plasma doesn't know this condition of being out of balance, having a condition that will cause you a suffering in your physical body. So it's interesting you say that.
And I also think that before we will be able to transmute, to go from one place to another, this alignment has to be done. We have to be in this state of balance for the energy to transmute on the right position. Is my personal opinion, feeling, but yeah, it feels very well, and it feels very short before we can really start traveling. That's beautiful.
I think we're very, very close. I think some of you have already experienced this, Jacko, and I'm sure you have yourself. Yes. Yeah, I'm sure you have. We all do it anyway, every evening, or whenever it is that you sleep, and we all have this this connection to the soul travel, and then we come back into the physicality, and we call this our reality. So we all have this ability in each and every moment, and we are just experiencing through this knowledge, through the technology and the knowledge, this once more in our physicalities, and it's beautiful to see, and in not so much in the physicality of a person at the moment. However, I'm sure this will be the next stage where you will suddenly see people becoming very transparent and taking another position. And as we know, once this happens, then you have full transmutation from one point A to point B. And this is where the technology is now leading.
Physicality is the weakest, so it will follow always.
Very well said, Jacko.
You know, in a way, more and more, I realize that the reality is the other dimension and not the dimension we're in. It's just, as I said before, it's like an experiment. It's like an partial time of eternity that we spend on experiences in physicality. And by that, we can only be thankful to be in this situation, but our reality is on the soul level.
Yeah, we know that many indigenous people have said this, that the reality is when you sleep, and what we call as reality is the sleep time. So yes, it's just a role reversal, and we are coming to understand this. The knowledge seekers and the people that are going through these experiences are realizing that we can we can go to a position where we go into the plasma, and then when we come back, you don't have those conditions anymore. They're no longer present. You have you become balanced through this direct connection that has always been present. We are just experiencing it once more.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Jacko.
Thank you, Dean.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to share also my experience with the new system. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so I'm Stefania. I'm the representative of the Italian language community. Yes, so as you know, there is ongoing awareness research made with a headphone and using this machine like you said, distantly. That anyone can apply it's every Friday, and we already done two sessions, and there are 2 more sessions to go. So everyone can apply by going to the Keshe store. If you go into www.keshefoundation.org, and then you go into the store, you can apply for the session. There are 2 more to go. Oh, sorry, there is the dog barking. So we have I've done, for example, 2 of the session. Sorry about the noise. Sorry. So yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. So this is wellness through the work of the soul. And I have to say, if I can say my experience, I've been in the center in Linz, and also I done the addiction that was very, very life-changing for me as well, and the wellness through the work of the soul that we do now. For me, if I have to say, as experience that I had from this particularly last research group, yes, the wellness through the work of the soul, I really feel like after the session, I really feel like if someone washed my brain. I don't know how to I don't have any other way to explain, but you feel like someone tidy up. It's like a room who's been tidy up and cleaned. And so when Mr. Keshe had said in the past that this headphone that you can use the system, allowed to use the system distantly, and he recommend to put 1 pair for your ears in your head. And he also said that the way they work, it's they will regenerate in the brain, and then the brain, it will, like a ripple effect, sort out the body. And this is actually exactly what is feel. It's like if Mr. Keshe said exactly what is written in the tin, it's what actually happened. This all obviously is my personal experience. So it really feels like someone regenerating your brain. You really have these feelings. Also, I was very, very tired after the session. That also this can be a good sign, because it means your body, it needs to be quiet to absorb what happened. Because I'm also a practitioner, so I always work with people hands-on, and I've been treating a lot of people. So I know when the work is strong, the person is overly tired. He needs to rest afterwards. So I know that is a good sign. But also what I understood, because for me, as a practitioner, it always been my goal to solve problem in a permanent way. I always found through my job that I could never have a permanent change, in the sense that yes, I can relieve a back pain, but after a few days the back pain will be back. And then the clients need to have a constant treatments over the year. And obviously through the year, I realized that the somatic approach is very, very important. So how the person feel and how the person express their feelings are very, very important. And also you then learn that a healiness can start just with a bad thought, you know, or a bad experience. Over the year will turn into physical illness. So whoever is in the health sector knows very well what I'm talking about. So what I found through this experience of this wellness work through the soul, I thought, oh my God, this is exactly what I want to always achieve with my treatments. so, and what you want to really work, if we call it the soul level, or you want to work really on be able to change how the person feels towards life, towards the environment. And if the person can get that balance of well-being, of happiness, then luckily it will recover much quicker. Luckily, the things will be sorted for good, because the body it always follows. The body is always regenerating. So it just put the body in the right track. But until you don't put in the right track the brain, the way you feel, it's very hard to then sort out all the rest in a more permanent way. So I found also speaking with other people, some people feel the cosmic ray through the phone. We all feel it in different ways. Other people don't feel it at all, you know. So you can hear people say, "Oh, I didn't felt anything." That one I discover a lot also in my work, because you don't feel doesn't mean it doesn't happen. And maybe if you don't feel it, it's the main reason why you are here to using the cosmic ray to regenerate in yourself. So I don't discourage. I hope the people who don't feel the cosmic ray, they don't discourage themselves, because it doesn't mean it doesn't work. From my understanding of this cosmic ray, because they work at a very deep level from within. And this is what I felt. I felt really this brain being washed. I felt more centered. I felt, even though I was tired after treatments, after the session, I felt this inner energy, inner power. So I could really tell the words changing from within. For me, maybe it's easier because I always worked with the body for 25 years. So for me, it was easier to detect certain things that were happening, because it's my work, it's part of my work. So, but I can really tell for me that there was this deep change from within instantly. And I had this always in Linz. I had always this deep change when I went in Linz, and when I done all the other meeting through the headphones. So the deep change is always happened. I always recognize it, and it still now has not changed. So I can see you do some step there, permanence. You feel these permanent changes. In the physical level, I noticed that there's certain things gone, they come back, then gone again, they improve, then get worse. So I found this improvement not always been permanent, but what I feel is that is the right way for the ultimate solution, because from once, after 25 years of my experience in alternative sector, for once I found a way where you got this change from within. So you can really tell that this system, this is my perception, this system, it's kind of feeding the core of what you are and the nourishment, and then we call it the soul, and then this core inside you becomes strengthened, and that one, it's the main core. If you got not that one, it's how we get sick and die and blah blah blah. So the main core gets strengthened, and then from there, slowly like a ripple effect, you will see the effect physically. So but first of all, it definitely is the soul level. So you feel this emotion changing, things around you change, the way you perceive the things around you are changing, all for the better. So I really recommend people for people who see results straight away, fine. But for people who don't see results straight away, I really recommend to keep going and keep try to understand this type of work, because it's come from within, And I can really see that we can eradicate illness for goods, and we can teach people, because the difference also is been teaching. When someone learning means this knowledge, it's forever. So teaching people how to heal themselves. And this for me is the true also freedom when we talk about healiness, because lots of people have different healiness in different ways, and they're all enslaved to the practitioner, to the hospital, to the medication, to whatever. But this one really gives you a freedom, a ultimate freedom, because eventually you will be able to heal yourself on your own, not even without the machine. And last things, that, because I know I talked quite a lot, very testimonial. Me too, like dinner one evening, I don't know if it was in dream or I was not dreaming, but I had this clear, it was like someone gave me some knowledge for a very short time, because I don't remember anything now. But at the time, I really thought I could heal myself with my own hands. And I knew that this machine was just temporary crutches for who was not already at that level yet. But eventually, you don't need a machine, you don't need anything. You will be able to use our own body to heal ourselves and to use it as a vehicle. So that's all. I just wanted to say this. Sorry if I've been too much talking.
Thank you, Stefania.
Hello, here is Andreas.
Hi, Andreas.
Hello. I'm Universal Council support member for the German language, and I just wanted to say that I know from a lot of people they cannot participate in the sessions because they have just not the finances to do it. And I just want to spread a little bit hope and trust, because there are also a lot of people who don't have the finances, and also they reported that they were able to connect to the system. And also for me, I have to say, of course, I had been in Linz a few times, or also at a lot of headphone sessions, but the last time it was also not for me possible to pay for it. And like Mr. Keshe said, it does not count what you want or what you expect. It counts what you can give. And at first I was a little bit frustrated not to be able to be part anymore. But then I realized I want to give to all people who are in the sessions. I want to give to my environment. I want to give just to the whole creation. And it's not important if I have my headphones on and if I have paid for the session. And this is somehow the key to connect to the system, to give and to share. And don't be frustrated if you cannot do it. Just connect and give and share your love for the creation, and that's the way you can connect easily to the system. That's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Andreas. I can confirm that. And in a way, this is the knowledge of the connection of the soul. If we train ourselves to go back to this connected state of being, then we have the same results. We can exchange, we can give with our unconditional love and balance. So that's the beauty of the technology. Thank you very much.
There is a question in the chat and also in the YouTube from Trevor, who's asking, he's curious if there's any testimony on processing physical scars on the skin as a result of going through the units. Anybody have any information on that?
I have myself in a fire exercise. It was more than 450 degrees. I had a burning place on my left hand, left outside. It burned through the gloves, through the blankets we had, through the protection clothes.
So you're a fireman.
Yes, since 33 years. It was about 2 centimeters and it completely disappeared. What I have to say is that I also used the soap of the foundation. This soap is called Young. And I noticed that it balances the skin extremely. From my youth, I had a lot of pigment, not scars. It is that this little places on the skin, which stay if you had a burning face in summertime. And since I'm using this soap, they're almost gone. So in a way that balances too. And if we think about the technology, everything comes to balancing.
Trevor said he's also firefighter. He's also. Don't know if you read the chat.
Yes,
that's interesting.
So I can only, yeah.
I was going to suggest that product may still be available from the Keshe Foundation, but you probably have to act fast in order to obtain it if it is, because some of the, or a lot of the products will be sold off or dropped basically in the near future. Oh, Caleb says the soaps are out of stock. So perhaps there's some other source, or you can make your own as well. There are tutorials on how to make GAN soap, for example. What would you suggest?
Yes, that is the way.
And there may be a distributor that still has some in stock. I'm thinking perhaps in Canada.
Mm.
Trevor, are you on Telegram, or how could I reach you? Because I have soap here, I can send it to you. I bought a few of them just in case like this. But I'm not sure how we can get in contact.
Yeah, it's best not to leave an email in the chat, but
You can go from his Telegram language group, whatever group he is, or any language he is. You can look for his Telegram, and then from there look for you. Everyone knows you.
that would be a good idea.
No problem.
So Trevor, if you're in one of the Telegram groups, then that would be a good way to make contact if you wish to
yes, and he's
connect with Jacko.
He wants to make he plans to make a trip, so maybe, yeah, we can organize.
He also wrote that he's thinking to go to the conference later in the year. I don't know if you're referring the one in the 1st of November.
Okay, yeah, that's okay.
Hey, good.
We can make contact, and I can send it to him, no problem.
Rick, Jacko, it's Dean here again. If I just quickly say that I've been present at the exhibition recently, and a lot of the products are gone. There are a few things left, but most of it is now been sold off. There are people are still present and buying the last few bits, but there's not much left anymore. So now we will reach a position where it will be, in the moments to follow, when China is set up and we have this network reset up again, then we get a new set of products maybe. But as Mr. Keshe said, it's not going to be labeled under the Keshe Foundation. This will be a different organization that will maybe do this. So you still have the capability to buy, to have products if you need products. However, the real gift is the knowledge, and the knowledge is spread throughout the teachings. And there's many knowledge seekers in many different groups on Telegram and through Facebooks and all sorts of different platforms where you can gain the knowledge. And it is for you to once you actually reach this understanding, to want to develop it yourself. I always find, as a knowledge seeker, when I first came to it, it was the knowledge. And once you open up the knowledge and you start to go in and you go into a workshop and you learn it yourself, and then you apply it both emotionally and physically, then you start to gain the plasmatic field strength of the knowledge and the condition. And it's like a little journey that it takes you on, and it expands you and gives you this plasmatic journey that leads to many different realities and dimensions and experiences that happen along the journey. And but always remember that the real essence of all of this is within you, is you. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Dean. And I think there's also a question in the what is it? F&A. So Saeed Lukman Jilani. Hello, Keshe Foundation. Can we convert different forces and waves into Magrath's plasma energy, such as light, heat, magnetism, magnets, motion, wind, water, thrust, etc.? Yes. Everything is energy. And if we learn how to transfer energy to matter and matter to energy, then you can serve all these things that you're writing about. And there are groups of students who are working on it. It's also something I can really recommend to become a student. It costs 100 a year, and then you can participate in the groups with the different items they're talking about, teaching about, exchanging about. And it's always very good to be there. So I hope that answers your question.
That's certainly a good suggestion. I would say that to join up with the private teachings. The groups there are small, usually 4 or 5 people working on particular topics, such as generating energy or working with various other aspects of the plasma technology. And you can start your own group if you like. There's some topic that you want to dive into, get some others involved, and have weekly meetings, set that up, and investigate with others. The sharing in a group is very powerful. You can obtain new understandings through working with others in this realm, for sure. And you can sign up for becoming a student at the Keshe Foundation website, as well as the educational website. Saeed says, thanks, Rick and Jacko. Can I join Telegram group of Keshe Foundation? There are actually many Telegram groups, depending on if you have a particular language that you would like, that you prefer to communicate in, or if English is okay. There are several English groups. There's the Canadian Keshe Knowledge Group. There's the American Keshe Knowledge Group. American ones could be a good one. There's also UK Telegram group and several others. Perhaps we can put an invite link in the chat here. If someone has that, that would be good. I'll try to find it as well.
We can, but have to know which group.
Mm-hmm. There's also the Keshe One Cup One Life, Keshe One World Family.
Yes, there are so many.
But for discussing technical things, I guess any of them can be used for that.
Rick, I was gonna say that it's best to go to the Telegram group to their own language. So I don't know where Trevor is from or where.
It's not Trevor. It's Saeed. Is
even Trevor asked, and Said both ask. Two people ask.
Okay.
So,
yes, I see.
So they should go. They should look for their own language group, and the student it's in English. The private teaching are in English, but if you don't speak English and you go into your own language group, then in your language group, for example, we have Italian Telegram group. So what they invite, the Keshe Foundation, what they're inviting is to the spread of the technology. So for any group that is not English, what they can do, they can make their own teaching for their own community, or they can. Now I don't know what does it mean with the product, but before it was recommended to, if you know an exhibition, you can present the product of the Keshe Foundation in the exhibition. So there it would be a different way to spread the knowledge. But definitely make a teaching group in your own language. That is good. If you cannot speak English and therefore being in the Keshe student groups. Yeah, just wanted to share this.
And I think the soaps, as we mentioned, the 20 to 30,000 new products in the coming time. And I think these soaps that were in the store were made by one of the Chinese artisans, perhaps, who made these. I'm not absolutely sure, but that will dovetail right into the products that will be released with the Keshe Foundation logo on them through the work of the Chinese.
Okay, so the link to
hopefully.
Telegram is there. They can check in if they want. Great, can see you there. Okay, then I think we can go to the next slide.
Just 1 second here. I'm posting in the YouTube that link as well. Okay, I'm going to the next slide. Get the wellness.
Yes, this is the splitter with the symbols on it for those who want to participate on Friday and Sunday next. be good to have this this splitter, because it has the microphone as well as the headset connected, and it is recommended to use this splitter if you use two headsets.
Okay, I think we covered that last week as well. So
yes, it's just for the new ones. And yeah, it is a little bit difficult to get them, so
it
is hard
is
to find.
I couldn't find one locally. I had to order through internet.
Yes.
I put in the chat the email customer at service, customer.service at kfm.global, and this is the email address for everyone who participated up to now to write their testimonial on this email. It's very important for the research to see how you felt and which is your feedback after the session.
Okay, thank you, Stefania. Let's move on to the next one now.
Yes, and that is bring the needs and wishes from your community to the Universal Council. Are there any needs or wishes? I remember Mosfek wanted to say something. I don't know if he's still here.
This is Mosfek. I'm a support member in Council, support member for Bengali language, and what I'm relaying right now was done in the workshop in Bengali language. I'm going to do it here in English. As you know, in the last Knowledge Seeker workshop, one of the topics that was brought up is that regarding transmutation, is that before we transmute to a different location in the universe, we may choose to explore how our manifestation would be in that environment. How would we look in that environment? And in order to do that, we have the option of creating this environment locally on this planet, wherever we may be. So this is a choice that we have with this transmutation technology we're talking about. Now, this idea is fascinating in a different way. The planet Earth, as we have it right now, we in Keshe Foundation want it to be peaceful and prosperous. So we want to change the environment of the planet as it exists right now. And we are approaching it in various different ways to go towards this, shall we say, a new world of peace and prosperity. We are making various wishes, and we are seeking assistance of tools like enhancement unit to make this a reality. Now, if we think about it, the transmutation idea is almost the same. We are creating, just like transmutation, a new environment where peace and prosperity is the key ingredient, and some of the confusion and chaos and mayhem that we see right now is not part of that reality. So as we engage our souls, with or without the assistance of enhancement unit and perhaps other Keshe Foundation technology, we can make this environment a permanent feature of this planet. And for that, our engagement is the most important part of it. We want this to happen. We wish this to be the reality. When this becomes the reality, it's not if, when this becomes the reality, those who create the confusion and mayhems are not part of this reality. So, as we are doing right now, by elevating these people, we are preparing them for this new reality. Whether they become part of this new reality is their choice in their own physicality. And what they decide is their own individual choice. We are not forcing them. We are just inviting them to the reality which we are making. And the things that are happening, along with the things that are happening with China, is the physical level realization of this soul's wish. All of us, all the knowledge seekers and those who, like us, may not be part of Keshe Foundation, but they have the same wish to have a peaceful and prosperous world. And so we transmute ourselves for this new environment of peace and prosperity. And perhaps that's why we do not feel like we fit in the current environment. And there is a strong intention in all of us to go to this reality of peace and prosperity. And so the transmutation, in a way, is more real. And we're already doing it. Yes, we will extend this idea in the future as we traverse the outer space. But in traversing the outer space, we are also engaging our inner space to make this peace and prosperous reality. And as we have heard from Mr. Keshe, peace is the cornerstone of our travel to the space. So as we make this reality of peace and prosperity, we are also making the other reality true, that of transmutation and traveling across the universe. Thank you. I hope I'm clear here.
Yes, thank you very much, Mosfeq. Is there anyone else?
Jacko, hi, it's Dean again here. If I can just, hi, Jacko. Thank you, Mosfeq, for that beautiful words you've just spoken and the knowledge you just shared. So the needs and wishes of the community. One planet, one nation, one race. This is what this is. This is why we're here in these moments. This is the field strength that we are gathering and putting forward for everybody to experience. And when we do this, when we create this field, then we all share that plasmatic experience and the energy flow from a planetary, a universal condition, which is connected to us on a physical level. In the physical body, you know, we are deeply connected to the amino acids on planet Earth, and this gives us our shape and form. And many of our experiences in the physical conditions that we experience in this moment. However, we have this wondrous star, this eternal soul that sits within us and is part of our structure as a human being or any creature created on planet Earth. And we have this deep connection that is connected with everything. And when we tap into this, then we can bring the needs and wishes from our community. The community is the community within us, the cells in our body. This community, the galaxies we have within us. Is it the community that's external to us? The ones that we have as we say our family, our friends, you know, the cat, the dog, our close relationships. Is that the community? Is the community that is the local community, which would be, you know, the people that live and work all around us, all the souls that are present in and around us in the physical sense, that also carry this this beautiful soul that is, you know, within each and every single one of us, as I said earlier. So the community, the wishes of the community, it depends on your viewpoint. It depends on how you interact in your environment with your thoughts and your intentions. And what are your intentions? What would you like them to be? Because you are responsible for your thoughts in this moment. And as your thoughts drift into a position that is maybe affected by an environmental condition that is happening around you in the physicality, and you allow that to be absorbed into your being, then yes, you may interact on a community level that is physical. However, when you interact with your thoughts and intentions, then you start to broaden your horizons to an expansive condition of a universal condition, which encompasses a much bigger totality. So it really is upon your thoughts and intentions. There is no limitation other than the limitations that we decide upon in this moment. And you have a choice in each and every moment. What you decide is your reality, your limitation, your sphere of influence around you. Is it you, as I said, the cells, your body structure? Are you going to tap into the flow and correct what's within you? Or are you trying to interact with the external physical body and the external things that are all around you? Are you trying to correct this? What is it you need to do? Because to correct the physicality of a situation or others is a very difficult thing to do in the physical form. However, with a thought and intention, you have direct contact with the soul, which is unlimited. And once you tap into this unlimitedness of another soul and you give unconditionally, then that soul receives the energy and then can move the physicality to re-establish another connection in the environment around themselves. So you can help to balance another soul. You give unconditionally. And this is sharing of not just energy, this is sharing of the knowledge. And this is, when we do this, it's not just in our local community, it's on a universal community scale. When we think that what I spoke about earlier on, we have a universe within inside ourselves. So do we want to talk to a cell in our body that is localized, or do we want to talk to a bigger cell that is the whole universe? So from an atom to a universe is all the same process. So when people say to me that, oh, I'm only interested in planet Earth, I really don't want to, I just want to interact, I just want to travel from point A to point B on planet Earth. This was spoken earlier on today. And I say to them, yes, but once you understand the knowledge and once you understand that it is within you, then it is the universe. We may talk about planet Earth in the physicality, but the universe is within each and every single one of us. And so you all have a choice with your intentions, you are the captain of your ship. And so you can make the needs and wishes as you wish. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jacko.
Hello. Actually, have many areas on the earth, different countries, with the climate that's very extreme. It's very hot. Maybe anybody need the balance, equilibrium in that area. In many communities around the world. Is my wish now. Thank you.
Elizabeth, thank you for that. So we are present with that wish. And we all wish that many of these physical conditions that many people are suffering or in a condition that they're experiencing. We wish them all the energy they require in this moment to have the balance. Remember, everything is a soul. So it's the soul of an atom, to the soul of a person, to the soul of however the creation, whatever it is, it all has a soul. As Mr. Keshe said many times, even a stone has a soul. So you can give to the soul of this condition. So that when we come together as the Universal Council, we are connecting the souls and distributing the energy source of the souls that are present to these situations to enhance and to give balance, to elevate the soul. And so this is when a group of souls come together. But remember, there are countless billions and trillions and untold numbers of souls present. So when we give a genuine wish that is to give to others, for others to receive a balance in their physical forms or emotional forms, then all the souls will come together and grant this wish if it's given with, you know, very sincere thoughts and intentions to give to another. This is plasma. When you ask and you shall be given. And so each of us has a responsibility to ask in the right way, not only for ourselves in our physical forms, but to greatly enhance by 10 to the power of thousands when you wish it for another, when you wish balance for another soul to receive. And that is the beauty in the real knowledge of this plasmatic condition of, as Elizabeth just said, giving to many people that require this in this moment. And as souls, we can all have a thought in this moment to give to those situations, wherever it is for you. So thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you all for listening.
I mean, we see happening now with the silence, I think the title of the movie in America was going really, it's #1 movie in America. And it's made by these people, the based true story about this man who risked his life to save children that are being abused. And in result of that, they made a movie, and now this movie, it's #1 because everyone wants to help. So definitely in the nature of most of us, we want to help. But obviously, the first steps would be gain peace in within, because already if each one of us managed to find peace in himself, then it's report to his relatives and to his friends. And if we all do this, it's already instant world peace. So there is a lot that we can do in any level. Each one of us has got power to improve themselves. And by improving themselves, if all of us do this, already we achieve peace. So I just want to say this.
Thank you, Stefania. It's Dean here. Can I just quickly say, Stefania, are we allowed to say the name of this movie? Rick, are we allowed to say it?
I don't see why not.
So as far as I know, this movie that is going around and has become a box office hit and is outperforming all the other movies at the moment, has a soul, and this the name of this movie is called The Sound of Freedom.
Freedom, yeah.
Sound of Freedom, yeah. So it is. Many people will come to experience this, the knowledge that's been shared in this film, and so this has a field strength. This has a condition. This has a soul, and we know this condition has been present upon planet Earth for quite some time. And for many people, it's new knowledge, and it'll be quite shocking. And how could this possibly be so? How could this even be present? You know, it's just not. It could not be a truth, because it's not something that most people would want to believe to be true. However, we know that these takes position, and so as a soul of a person, balance within yourself, to bring that balance within inside yourself, it's an emotion. And many of us have experienced many things in our bodies, in our childhood, and things that have caused us emotion. And we've experienced something that then leads to this emotion that then takes us to another position. And this then makes us do certain things sometimes that are not in the correct flow of plasma, in the correct flow of being a soul, which is unconditionally giving. So the soul of the Sound of Freedom, we now know what it is. It's for the freedom of children, the freedom of all the children around the world, to bring about a condition where they no longer are treated as in a certain way that is really not part of a condition that anybody in physicality or as a soul of man should have to experience. But we're all responsible for this. Our thoughts, our words, and our actions dictate our environment. So when we become balanced inside ourselves, then we have the Sound of Freedom inside ourselves, and then we can then give this not only to the children but to all the abused that are across the whole planet, across the whole of this condition, planet Earth that we have in the present moments. And then once we have this understanding of the soul of something, and we give to the soul unconditionally, then all the other souls can join in and communicate and be part of this process. And the wish to give, to bring balance, is a beautiful intention. And the intention carries the weight of all the other souls that will be present with this beauty that is to bring balance and to take away this this condition that is incorrect in its intention in this moment. So the Sound of Freedom is for each of us inside ourselves, and then that abuse that we have, even for the war inside ourselves, then that war stops. And then once the war stops, the Sound of Freedom becomes present within our own thoughts and intentions. Then this becomes present all around our environment, and that affects the next soul. And then the next soul would never do such a thing that would create a condition that would harm another, a child in this instance we're talking about. And so each and every one learns the ethos of plasma and of the universal flow, which is always to bring balance and love and beauty to another situation. Yes, we have conditions that sometimes happen, that where you have fields that interact and create other conditions that are out of balance. However, the initial thought and intention to give to another, to help another in need, is the condition and the ethos of the foundation, the Universal Council, and all of us that are present in this moment on a soul level of giving and receiving, with love and care always for the children and all the created creatures that are present on planet Earth.
If I want to add, I'm aware that we are over the time and we're already past the 2 hours. So I'm going to be very, very short because I know we have to wrap up. I just wanted to say, add something to this, Dean, that for me, definitely this come out of this movie and see how the people react around it. It really showed me that we all want to, even here in the Keshe Foundation, all of us that are here present, in one way or another, they want to contribute to bring peace, bring balance, end of wars and injustice, end of suffering, end of illness, eternal, life, forever young, all these things. Now, for different reasons, we are all here today. And see the success of this movie, it also brought me a lot of happiness because, first of all, I saw people in action. I saw, listen, this man risking his life to save other people's lives. And he telling the story of the magic that was happening and people in despair kept their peace and integrity, because that is the difficulties. It's good to be in peace when you are under the beach with the sunset going and the music, but it's very difficult to be in peace when you're living maybe in a real nightmare situation. So it really inspired me, these people and this movie. And I thought also my wish, my dream would be to, if it's possible, to spread as fast as we can this technology. Maybe now is the right time, with the help of China and other major governments, to spread this technology the fastest we can, because I thought they were talking about the trauma of the children. So yes, we free them, but there is a lot of work need to be done afterwards. With the traumatized people or children that are involved in all this process. And I thought, even the guy who was saving the children, he would say that he's got all these images in his head going through the torture of these children, and for him it's very difficult to even have a normal life. And I was thinking, this technology is perfect because we can reach distantly a big amount of people, and by increasing the level of the fields, we can balance their way of being so they don't commit any crime, and people who have received the crime, they can forgive and also balance themselves to have a normal life again. So for this, the perfect link, I wish to somehow get in contact with these people, let them know that we are ready here to help, and somehow put all things together. It would be really great research if all the people who've been affected by those bad experiences, they can receive the cosmic ray and improve their mental state, after this traumatic experience. That would be a big help for all the family who are involved at the moment they're suffering. Also, so it's just, I think it's great how I think everything coming together at the same time. I just hope somehow we make a connection with these people and help them with this technology, and making at the same time known. So I just want to say this. Yeah, this is my wish.
We are present. Thank you, Stefania.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to add, Dean, and thank you, Dean, as well. So I just wanted to point out something, that it's not that we are going to participate, we are participating. If you notice, in May and June, we did the soul elevation of the abused children and those who abused the children. And the event exploding is just right after that, those wishes. And a similar thing happened early on when the Universal Council did similar wishes in 2017. But I won't go into this, but we have to be aware that when we engage our soul, there is a physical reality. It's not just a spot removing from a skin. We can affect large-scale change and notice them and acknowledge that, yes, we are not the only one doing it, for sure. But we had our part to play. And if we, and this is a learning process for all of us. Yes, it may not have been, yes, it did contribute. Can we do better? Why not? It's as much as we have to do physical things, the power lies in this at the soul level, in creating peace and prosperity, and helping these children and other situations, poverty and various other things. That is very much part of our lives everywhere in the world. So it helps us to have the confidence that we are doing it and seeing the results concurrently. So let's not, I'm not saying we have to be beating our chest or something like that, but it's kind of like something like, when you do something, you feel an inner peace. And you see, okay, yes, I am part of it. I am doing it. At the soul level, yes. But, we have to build trust in this capacity to engage at a very effective level, much more effective than in the physical level. And be sure and certain of this reality that we are becoming more and more engaged in. So thank you very much.
Ben Mushfaq, to actually, after you said what you said just now, I just remember backwards, and it's actually true what you're saying, because exactly that what happened, because we did the group class of elevating the abuser and the children have been abused, and then this moving come after, like a signal, could be like a signal of the work that we also do in the soul level, like many other people. And then we did also the gathering with the cosmic ray for the leaders, elevation of the leaders. And I remember very well in that meeting, majority of the people agreed that China was the president who seems to be the one who would start a ripple effect process for peace worldwide. And now we're collaborating with China. So it's true, we've been working in the soul level, and these are the signal that things are happening, like this news with the Venezuela government collaborating with China for space technology. So that are real news, like this movie. And why not to think, like you said, have a trust in our work, and why not to think that this can be also the result of our cosmic ray gatherings, where we worked at the soul level to achieve that. And now we see the result at the physical level, exactly like you said now. I keep him forget it, I have to say the truth. I keep him forget, I find difficult to put 100% trust. This is what I noticed about myself. But I don't wanna, just because what you said, that's very, very true. And I like to look in the way you could just explain it. Thank you.
I just want to add a little bit here, even in our health situation, like removing a spot from the skin, even their trust matters. Yes, these are examples that are very local physical change. But, building trust is not just something changing on our skin. A poor man who cannot eat, and if that poor man can have enough to eat, that's evidence as well. That's much, much bigger than that spot on my skin. So yes, these are, removing the spot is part of our learning process, but the task is much bigger. So let's not forget these people of this planet, these citizens of this planet, not just necessarily human beings. They're part of us. They are part of our body, our physical existence on this planet. The food in this poor man's stomach is as much part of the relief as our spot on the skin. And if we can do all of these things and build from each of these various instances, the spot is not, I'm not denying the fact that it has to change, but these are the things that build confidence. We have to, and we need to make it a part of our practice to recognize these manifestations. As we recognize the manifestations, our confidence builds up. Our neighbors are benefiting. I mean, you cannot imagine a better situation, can you? It's just unbelievable. So let's do it at every part of our existence. And peace and prosperity is not that far away, is it?
Thank you. Maybe we can wrap up if anyone has got something to say, because I'm aware we're half an hour over. So I know Rick working hard 24/7. I read this. Oh, Mushfaq, do you want to read this? Because I can read it. We are here to serve, not to be served. The Universal Council.
Well, Rick, I'm not Shweta, but I'm a poor substitute, so we have to go to the song and dance, I guess.
Well, before we get there, let me put my background image on and just say a couple of things, which is we have the next, well, first of all, thank you everybody for attending today's 284th One Nation, One Plan, One Race for World Peace and Justice here on Tuesday, July 25th, 2023. Our next public teaching workshop will be the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which will be starting at 7 a.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, July 26th. And people are welcome to attend that. If you have any questions about the plasma technology or something you'd like to present, that's a good opportunity to do a show and tell with other knowledge seekers who can provide feedback. And after that, we have the next Knowledge Seekers Workshop, number 496, and it will be at 3 p.m. Central European Time, not at the usual 9 a.m. Central European Time. That will be on Thursday, July 27th. So again, the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up this week will be at 3 p.m. Central European Time, not at the 9 a.m. usual time. Okay, and what were you saying now, Mushfaq?
Shubharatri.
Can you provide us with a Shweta imitation?
Yeah, Shubharatri. Actually, in Hindi and Bengali, it's the same word, same thing. There's no difference. So it's a good night for everybody, and buenas noches. What else? You guys can chime in, whatever.
Thank you so much for coming today. Thank you for attending. Thank you, Rick, and thank you, all knowledge seekers, because always time is communicating and unifying with the soul level. Thank you so much. And buenas noches en español. But en América es buenos días. because it's not afternoon. Thank you.
Okay, and our background image today, as you can see, is quite interesting. It's an AI image that I asked it to generate a photographic image without letters of the Universal Council working for the benefit of all beings in the universe under one nation, one planet, one race for justice and world peace. And this was one of the images that came up, and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. And if you look at it carefully, it's quite interesting. It has the what looks like the soul at the top here, which is sort of the overall image, but it's made up of what I see is the soul of the man at the top. The soul of the physicality is in the middle, and the physicality is at the bottom. So it's all one being, all one soul, you could say, but with different aspects to it. So thank you, AI, for pulling that one out. I needed a background image, and that's what happened.
It looked like also a heart in the middle with two hands making a heart shape.
Yeah, I don't know where this comes from. It's quite amazing. All right. Thanks, everyone, for attending today. We'll go out with the Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit music version as per usual here. And we have a Sweta in our hearts and souls here as well. She loves to dance and loves to dance to this music. Okay. Thanks, everyone. See you in the next public teaching workshop.
Thank you.